Hey, g'day everybody, Roberto here from Fornieri wood-fired ovens. Today I want to do a review and specification update on the two ovens behind me, which is the Napoli Vesuvio 650 and the Napoli Vesuvio 800, its big brother. These are two of my very popular residential selling ovens, although they do work in some food trucks. I have sold some of these to some commercial food trucks. And they perform better than any other stainless steel oven that I know of anyway. These ovens come in a just wood configuration, or as I have two behind me here, wood and gas hybrid ovens. You can use just wood, you can use just gas, or you can use wood and gas at the same time, and they both come included with a 3 hybrid kit, which is a cover to protect your burner if you're using just wood, and a wood rack. So I'm going to go into a review and specifications about these ovens, generally going over questions that I normally get asked. So if you were thinking about coming out and having a look at one of these, this information you might find helpful beforehand. And so let's get on with it. Okay, so first thing, let's get into the dimensions of the ovens. And if you're on my website and you click on the pictures of the ovens, it will show you a diagram of the outside dimensions of these ovens anyway. Today I'll be specifically discussing the 650 and the 800 hybrid models. The wood oven models are identical ovens, except they don't have the gas burner. And the only other difference, the wood version of these two ovens come with a twin skin flue, not the flue with the built-in dampers, which we use to operate off wood and gas. And the 650 wood oven is about 50 mil, 2 inches narrower, not as wide. Same depth, but just not as wide. We made the gas models a little bit wider because of the gas burner, so you don't really lose any cooking floor space. So let's get into the dimensions of this oven. We'll start with the 650, and the 650 measures 670 deep by 870 wide. So 670 mil deep by 870 mil wide. And the 800 measures 780 deep by 990 wide. Now the minimum bench space for the 650, it will just fit on a 600 mil, which is a standard bench top, and it'll leave about 20 mil clearance around the back, 25 mil clearance, which is an inch, and the feet will just sit on the bench, and you'll get overhang. The overhang will be about 4 inches, 100 mil of overhang. So 600 mil is the minimum depth for the 650 oven. 760 mil is the minimum depth for the 800 oven. 600 mil, 760 mil. They are absolute minimum, which means the feet will just sit on the front of your bench and 100 odd mil of the oven will overhang. Yeah, clearances, we want to see about 25 mil minimum clearances, although it's recommended if you can get 200 mil clearance. But these ovens don't get very, very hot around the outside. So depending on what the closest walls are going to be made of will depend on whether you can get away with 25 mil or whether you need the 200 mil. That'll be up to the installer, or give me a call about that anytime. That's the dimensions of the oven and your bench space you're going to need. The next most common question is the fluing of these ovens. So the wood flues, as I said, come with a dual skin flue. The gas ovens both come with a standard 150 millimeter stainless steel flue, which is 6 inches, and yes, you can extend them through the roof. If you go through a confined cavity space in your ceiling, or through plaster, or through something combustible, you will have to transition to triple skin once you get to your roof line. Otherwise, if you're just going to sit them on a bench, they come with these pieces of flue. Top of flue to bottom of oven with feet, you're looking at 1150 for the 650. Top of oven, the bottom of feet, you're looking at 1250, 100 mil higher. That's all it is. The ovens have a damper on them. Both of these ovens have a damper on them, and you'll say in the new models this says wood and gas. If you're using these ovens on wood, you would open your damper so that you get plenty of draw, plenty of airflow. There's no chance of the flames coming out the front because you've got a restriction in your flue. If you were using them on gas, you would close your dampers, and we've restricted the flue size to about 70 mil instead of 150 mil, and that just slows down your draw, helps the oven operate extremely efficient on gas. That's probably it for the sizes, your installation, and your fluid requirements for the oven. Let's get into a bit more detail. Okay, so the 650, Vesuvio 650, first thing you'll notice once you pull your door off, this thing weighs, I don't know, maybe a kilo. This thing is thick, it is solid, it's nothing like any other piece of door I'm sure you've seen on any other oven, which is generally a piece of tin. This thing is a well insulated, solid stainless steel door. Nice timber handle so you can get it off when it's red hot, and that's the first thing you're going to notice about the quality of these ovens. Inside the ovens we have a depth of 500 mil and a width of right about 650 mil. So 650 millimeters wide by 500 deep. Yes, you'll lose about 100 millimeters on this side with the gas oven, and you'll lose a bit of floor space with a wood rack. So both these ovens, as I mentioned before, will come with a solid stainless steel wood rack. We use this generally on whichever side. If it's a wood oven, you put it on whatever side you like, but this would sit on the side of your oven, put your wood on top, and that helps with airflow to get underneath the oven. You don't have to use a wood rack, you can put the wood directly on the floor, and I will show you how this oven actually performs with a flame. It's second to none. The design, the internal design, external design, quality of this flue system. If you know of a better oven, please put it in the comments and share it. But I don't know of any oven that is built as good a quality and that performs anything like these ovens. This floor is second to none. You also get a cover for the gas burner. There's a handy slot in there, so when the cover's in position, if you wanted to switch from wood to gas, for example, you would stick your peel in this slot, pull it out, and off you go. Do not ever turn the gas on when this cover is on the gas burner. You will melt the burner. This cover is only to be used to protect the gas burner if you're cooking with wood only. If you're cooking with wood and gas at the same time, there's no need to protect the gas burner, because the gas flames would be burning off any fats or ash or anything that can get into your gas burner to block it, will be getting burnt off before it gets a chance to do that. But if you haven't got your gas on and you're cooking, we don't want fats and ash and whatever to spit onto your gas burner. It's going to block your pilot, and it's no good. You have to service it, and we'll get into the servicing a bit later on. So you'll get these two parts with it. There are 4 tiles in this oven. They are removable should you ever break one. Yes, they are loose. You can pop them out and replace them. They're 40 mil thick floor tiles. and under that 40 mil we have 80 mil of calcium silicate board. It goes all the way through. So this is all floor. It's not fresh air and space and stuff like that. It is all insulated. That's why these floors perform and hold the heat so well. There's quite a bit of space in there. So this is just an aluminium tray that you would buy from a supermarket anywhere. This tray measures 420 internal by 300 internal. So a 300 by 400 tray, as you can see, fits comfortably inside the 650. You wouldn't get another one in there, but there's room for your wood rack there. The gas burner is protected, and you can use that wood. Again, if it was a wood oven, it's just going to be about 50 mil, 2 inches narrower. So you would get the tray there, for example, on that side, and plenty of room for your wood rack if you were using a wood rack. But as I say, you can light your fire directly on the floor. Let's have a look at the 800. Alright, so the Vesuvio 800. The floor space in this oven measures 600 mil deep, by about 750 mil wide, and 650 mil of cooking space excluding the burner. The burner is about 100 mil. So you've got 600 by 650. The tray, the same tray, 400 by 300 mil, you would fit 2 of those trays inside this oven, no problem, and it's not creeping onto the gas burner. So we get 2 of those trays, 1 in the 650 tray, 2 in here tray. When it comes to cooking pizza, and people say, how many pizzas can I get in there? Well, in this oven, there's 4 300 by 300 mil full tiles, 12-inch tiles. So yeah, you could put 4 12-inch pizzas in this oven, but it's not recommended, because if you're cooking on gas, for example, the side towards the flame is going to cook quicker, and because we get these oven floors up to 400 Celsius, we want to cook Napolitan style pizzas in 90 seconds. That's what we designed these ovens to do. We need to rotate. So with 4 pizzas, it would be a nightmare. Yes, you could put 3 if you really had to, and you would have 1 spare space, so you could rotate 3. Again, it's pretty hard. I do have a video where I've had 2 going in here at the same time. You can do 2 quite comfortably, quite easily, plenty of room to maneuver. So I would say 2 at a time in the 800, extremely comfortably. 1 at a time in the 650, extremely comfortably, with room to move and rotate and do what you have to do. Gas connections on these ovens are back bottom left if you're facing the oven. As you can see, the gas connection is there. And also you need to take note that these are gas appliances. So if the gas burner ever needs to be serviced, the burner, you would undo that plate and the burner would pull out the back. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail now. Okay, so you saw where the gas connection was, and I mentioned that these are gas appliances. If you're buying natural gas, you would need to get it hooked up by a registered and licensed plumber in Australia. If you're buying them in LPG, they will come with a hose and regulator already attached to the oven, which means you would pull it out of its box, put it on your bench and hook it up to your bottle. But if you're natural gas, you need to get a plumber, and if you need to extend your flues, you need to get a plumber. Being a gas appliance, they're going to need servicing from time to time. This particular one's been here, I don't know, a year or 2. I really lost track of time. I've never had to clean my pilot. It runs off natural gas, but I look after the oven. I make sure if I'm not as I mentioned before, if I need to use the cover and I'm cooking with just wood, I protect that pilot. I try not to get oils and fats and things on my thing, but it's pretty well maintained. I'll show you how that looks a bit later on. So to service this appliance, there are 2 screws underneath each oven that hold in the gas burner, and when you take those 2 screws out, the burner pulls out the back as I showed you before. You only need to pull the burner out maybe 6 inches, 150 millimeters, and then there's a plate and you can get to your burner injector if something's got caught in there, and you can get to your pilot injector if you have to pull that out to clean it. They're generally the parts that would get blocked, that need servicing. What I suggest when you install this oven, you'll see two cutouts under the oven. One's right here at the front near the knob, and one's towards the back. There are 2 cutouts. That's where the 2 screws are that are holding the burner. If you're going to sit this up on your bench, I would suggest you pull that 2nd screw at the back out. You don't need 2. All they're doing is, when you're pushing the knob into like the pilot, stops the burner pushing backwards. So one's enough to hold it going backwards. So depending on your situation, if you can access the back, pull the screw out from underneath the oven, because then all you do is pull this front screw out, pull your knob off, take your plate off, pull your burner out, do what you have to do. Might be once a year, might be once every 2 years, might be once every 3 years, who knows, depends how you look after the oven. If you don't have access to the back, which most people don't, they'll have a wall at the back. That means you're going to need, and something goes wrong, you're going to need to get to the back of this oven. So it's not extremely difficult. Again, you would probably just pull the oven around off your bench onto a trolley or something to hold the front up. You might only have to pull it around a little bit if you've got room out the side, whatever it takes to get to the back. So if you've already pulled that 2nd screw out, you only have to pull this one out and then get to the back, pull your burner out. If you have extended the flue through your roof because you're using wood and gas, just on that, if it's a wood oven, obviously it doesn't need any service, only for the gas ovens. But if you've extended this flue through the ceiling because you're using wood and gas and you don't want to get smoke and stuff inside your room, inside your pergola, wherever you've got the oven, then I would suggest where you join the flue, you would ask your plumber to, instead of tucking one inside the other, you would have a bit of a gap, 5mm gap difference between the first and the second. It doesn't matter if they're just touching, and then you would put a sleeve with 2 little bolts at the back, so that if you had to pull the oven out, you would undo this, take the sleeve off the oven basically, and you could spin your oven around without disturbing the flue going through the roof. So they're the only things you need to consider, that should that ever be the case. It probably will be at one point. Extremely easy to use. I will light this up and I'll show you how easy they are to light. So to light this oven, you push the knob in and turn it to the spark symbol, which is pilot, and push your piezo igniter. And the pilot light will light. You keep this knob held in for about 30 seconds, firmly. You want to keep it in firm. And after about 20 to 30 seconds, you would let it go. You can probably see that pilot flame is on. It's nice, it's clean, it's blue. Once that's stayed lit, turn it to high, and we have gas. Should always have a nice, clean, blue flame. Orange tipping's fine. That's just air particles, dust in the air burning off. That's on natural gas. LPG will have a shorter, sharper flame, but that's what your natural gas flame should look like. Nice, blue, beautiful flame, quite high, and the LPG will be shorter and sharper. Just a tip, that's on high. Down here we turn it to low, and if you were cooking a roast or breads or whatever, you would put your door on and look at your gauge, and if your gauge was saying it's about 300 Celsius and that was a bit too hot, you would turn it back to high, and then from high back to off, you can regulate this flame as small as you like, and you can get this oven to hold temperatures of 100 Celsius, for example, if you needed to keep something warm for quite a period of time. But that's what it looks like on high. And when you're finished, turn it off, job done. Okay, so I hope that's explained most things. Other than that, general maintenance, I mean, if you break a pizza on the floor, you've got cheese, burning cheese or fats or something on your floor, and you've stained your floor, and you're using wood, spread the coals over the oven, leave the door off so the coals get red hot, and leave them there for half an hour, as long as you can. And then once those coals are burnt down, sweep them aside, grab your brush, normally got a scraper, scrape whatever off, sweep it off. Remember, very important tip, as you're sweeping in this oven or cleaning anything, make sure the gas is on, so that anything that you're sweeping over onto the gas burner is getting burnt off by the flame. You don't want to be sweeping ash and dust and whatever onto that gas burner when the gas burner is not on, because it's all going to deposit on the gas burner. So make sure that gas is on, get your brush, scrape away, brush away. That goes for both ovens. In a wood oven, obviously that doesn't matter, just spread the coals, burn everything off. If you're not using wood and you're using gas, turn your gas on high, put your door on, walk away, give it a half hour, get this oven really, really hot. You want the gauge to get up to about 550, even 600 Celsius. If you get that floor really hot, your floor will probably get, on gas you can get this floor up to about 440, 450 Celsius, which just reminds me of the last tip. If you buy a gas oven, be it LPG or natural gas, regardless of the size, being a 650 or an 800 or the Campagna 1100, they will get the floor with the door on, turn them to high, put the door on, these floors will get to 400 Celsius in 45 minutes, give or take. Regardless of the size of the oven. The difference in the ovens, which is another important point, the Vesuvio 650 is rated at 25 megajoules per hour, the Vesuvio 800 50 megajoules per hour, and the Campagna 1100 100 megajoules per hour. So good information for your plumber, because he'll need to make sure you've got enough gas going to your appliance. So 25 megajoules, 50 megajoules per hour. That'll give him an idea of how much gas he needs to pipe them up. That's about it. So if it's the best oven you want to buy, give Fornieri a try. Hope this has been helpful. If you like the video, leave it a thumbs up for me and subscribe if you're interested in this sort of content, and I'll be doing some more cooking demonstrations and things later on. So ciao for now from Roberto. Thank you, goodbye, see you next time.